I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much to my Bibliospren, Bibliohowlers, and my Bibliomancers. It means a lot to me that you give me your extra support for my passion and hobby. Hi everyone, Petrik here. Today's video will be SFF Spotlight episode 49. Yeah, almost 50 episodes of SFF Spotlight. Absolutely incredible. I remember the first time I made this video, I was thinking maybe if this doesn't do well, I would just make a few episodes and then that's it. But now we are almost at 50 episodes and many of you told me that this series of videos is beneficial and I am truly grateful for that. But for those of you who are new here, if this is the first time you watch SFF Spotlight, this is a series of videos where I will talk about new book news, new Kickstarter campaign, new special edition, and also new cover reveals and new noteworthy release in the adult science fiction and fantasy genre. And just like always, just like every episode, we have about 20 topics to cover, so I would just begin immediately. Let's start by talking about book news first. New book news. And we have 3 new book news and I guess kind of like a cover reveal as well to spotlight first. The first one is for The Dollmakers by Lynn Buchanan. This is a debut novel, but I've been keeping an eye out on this one ever since I saw the concept arts shared by the author, I think a few months ago. And yeah, ever since then, I have been keeping my eye out on this one. And now, the cover art by Ashley Mackenzie has been revealed and I think the book looks absolutely gorgeous. The front and back cover, both of them looks beautiful and so detailed. Brandon Sanderson actually did the cover reveal for this one on his YouTube channel. And yeah, Lynn Buchanan is one of Brandon Sanderson's students and I can probably expect that there will be a hard magic system to this one. But the book supposedly is a dark and enchanting standalone fantasy novel, complete with black and white illustrations and a full wrap illustrated cover art. And the story takes place in a world centered around destructive, all-consuming monsters. And then, the magical dolls designed to fight this force and the artisans tasked with creating demon-slaying dolls, I assume will have to fight these monsters. I look forward to reading this book and hey, apparently I am blessed with an advanced reading copy of this one already, even though this one is slated to be released in August 2024. And then for the next one is a collaboration that I totally did not expect, and this is a new book, or maybe the first book, by Keanu Reeves together with China Mieville. The title of the book is The Book of Elsewhere. I don't know too much about this one. I haven't read a comic book written by Keanu Reeves, but I think this one takes place in the same world as, I think, Berserker. Yeah, that's the name of the comic book by Keanu Reeves. The story of Berserker follows an immortal warrior on a millennia-long journey to understand immortality. But for the Book of Elsewhere, I don't know too much about it, but I know that it takes place in the same world. And then moving on to the final new book news, and also I guess kinda like a cover reveal and limited signed and numbered art prints. This is for The Lotus Empire by Tasha Suri. This is the third and the final book in the Burning Kingdoms trilogy, and once again the cover art, just like the previous 2 books, is illustrated by Micah Epstein and it is designed by Lauren Panepinto. I think as far as cover art for the trilogy goes, this is definitely the best one. I love the cover art of The Lotus Empire so much. And right now, for the next few days, only for a few days, I think about 4 days from now, this sale will end. But Micah is currently doing a sale for the art print, signed and numbered art print for the entire trilogy cover art. And if you are interested in that, I strongly recommend you to check it out really quickly because, as I said, this will only last until the next 4 days. So that's it for the topic of book news. Now let's move on to talk about Kickstarter campaigns. And just like the previous episode, the first one that I want to spotlight is again A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, published by Wraithmarked Creative, which is again today's SFF Spotlight episode sponsor. And I am super thankful for that. But A Darker Shade of Magic, currently the funding has already exceeded $230,000. It is incredible. And it is looking very likely that this will be Wraithmarked's most successful Kickstarter campaign project so far. But yeah, the cover art is done by Rovina Kai, one of my favorite artists, just like Micah Epstein. And then there will be more than 10 interior illustrations by Felix Ortiz, together with a colored and paper as well. And yeah, this is a deluxe illustrated edition. That's why it will contain a lot of interior artworks, and of course the paper will be acid-free paper binded with a Smith-Soon binding. There will be gilded edges as well, and yes, it is signed by V.E. Schwab. The Shade of Magic series is an incredibly popular fantasy series. I think the first book is the best one out of the 3 books, and this edition will come with a custom design by Sean T. King specifically for this book. So yeah, if you're a fan of V.E. Schwab and also the Shade of Magic series, then make sure to check out the Kickstarter campaign and maybe back it to support Wraithmarked and also V.E. Schwab. Again, I want to say thank you so much to Wraithmarked for sponsoring today's SFF Spotlight video. And moving on to the next Kickstarter campaign to Spotlight, well, this is, I guess I am involved in this Kickstarter campaign. This is, if you have watched this video, then maybe feel free to skip this topic, but this is for a YouTuber's collector's enamel pin. So me, Daniel Green, Murphy Navier, and then a man carrying thing, and also Regan from Produce Project, the 5 of us were asked by Wraithmarked whether we would like to collaborate with Wraithmarked or Wildcrown. They're brands for merchandise and also collector items like enamel pins and maybe something else in the future. But for now, it is for limited edition enamel pin. We were asked to design our own enamel pin, and well, for me, mine is of course Choco Boy. Choco Boy with the katana because I love One Piece, I love Choco. This is Roronoa Choco. The price of one enamel pin is $15, but if you decided to get all of them at once with a bonus, a bookworm, the price of each enamel pin will turn into $10 each. And yeah, this is high quality and also a limited enamel pin. If you are interested in this one, then well, check it out. The pins are black and white hard enamel on gold plating, and I think they look beautiful. As for the next Kickstarter campaign to Spotlight, this is again for a special edition books. Well, I guess this counts as a special edition, but this is for the Hidden Guardian, the Ranger of the Titan Wilds Book 3 by J.D.L. Rossell. The cover art is done by Felix Ortiz, and there will be interior artworks by Felix Ortiz as well. Plus, this time, for the first time in the series, there will be more interior artworks by a different artist, Joe Requeza. And I think the 2 interior artworks I saw so far from Joe Requeza, they look beautiful. I think you might have been reminded of Aloy from Horizon, but I think that is intentional because the Ranger of the Titan Wilds is a fantasy series inspired by Horizon Zero Dawn video game and also The Last of Us. The Kickstarter campaign is fully funded now, but I think there are still some stretch goals to meet, so yeah, check it out if you are interested in this Kickstarter campaign. For the last Kickstarter campaign, this one is not, I think this hasn't gone live yet, but this is for the sequel to the Child of the Night Guild by Andy Peloquin, Thief of the Night Guild, or the second book in the Queen of Thieves series. Just like the first book, the cover art is done by Antti Hakosari, and also there will be more interior artworks as well. Not too many details on this one yet, but the page, the Kickstarter page is already up. So if you think the cover art by Antti Hakosari and also the interior artworks by Daniel Correa do look beautiful, then I guess you can click notify me on the Kickstarter page now. So that's it for the section of Kickstarter campaigns. Now let's talk about some beautiful special edition announced. The first one is the next title by Curious King has been announced. I think some of you might know that The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie Curious King edition is currently the most beautiful book that I own in my library. And yeah, I love that edition so damn much. And now Curious King has announced their next special and limited edition to produce, and it is something legendary. And yeah, it is Legend by David Gemmell. I haven't read Legend yet. I think the name of the main character is Druce. Yeah, I haven't read this book yet. I know, it is a shame. But Curious King is doing a 40th anniversary edition of Legend by David Gemmell, the first book in the Draenei saga. And they will treat this one, I think, as a standalone. I know that the Draenei saga, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think the Draenei saga is a series of novels, but it focuses on different characters throughout the 11 or 12 books. But yeah, the edition by Curious King will contain the standard edition, the deluxe edition, and then finally the lettered edition. And there will be 8 fully colored artwork plus 25 black and white illustrations by Justin Sweet. If you haven't checked out Justin Sweet's portfolio yet, then make sure to do it because he has done some truly incredible artwork artworks like for A Song of Ice and Fire and many more. Incredible artists, really. And yeah, I am already excited to see what the cover art of Legend by David Gemmell Curious King edition will look like, and also the interior artworks. But it is Curious King. I have no doubt they will deliver something amazing again. For the next 3 news, all of them are by Grim Oak Press. Let's start with the first one. Grim Oak Press has announced they will be doing their own Grim Oak Press edition of Kushiel's Dart by Jacqueline Carey. I haven't read anything by Jacqueline Carey yet, and well, there isn't any details on this edition yet, only that Grim Oak Press has announced they will be doing a special edition, a Grim Oak Press edition of this book. And then after that, Stone of Farewell by Ted Williams. If you own the first book, if you own the numbered, not PC, just like mine, then it is possible to pre-order the second book now, the Grim Oak Press edition, Stone of Farewell. The cover art and the interior artworks is once again done by Donato Giancola, and well, I have only seen the cover art. I think it looks gorgeous. And finally, we have more details on the Name of the Wind by Petrik Rothfuss, the Grim Oak Press edition. So Grim Oak Press has announced there will be 4 Grim Oak Press edition of the Name of the Wind. The first one will start at $150. This one will be a black and white edition, but it will still be signed by Petrik Rothfuss and also the artist, Mark Simonetti, which is a legendary artist in the science fiction and fantasy genre. And then the second edition will be priced at $300. This one will contain 10 fully colored artworks. And then after that, we have the $750 edition, and finally the $1,500 edition. So yeah, it is up to you which edition you want to pick. I know that there will be some new artworks, but at the same time, this edition of the Name of the Wind will utilize a lot of already available artworks by Mark Simonetti that can be found in the German and I think French illustrated edition of the Name of the Wind. As always, for more details, you can check out the links that I listed in the description down below. But this indeed will be the first time the Name of the Wind by Petrik Rothfuss received a fine press edition treatment in the US. And now we move on to the next special edition to Spotlight. This is, I have no idea whether this will be sold out by the time I post this video or not, but this is Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. Boy's Life is one of my favorite standalone novels of all time. It is a coming-of-age masterpiece in my opinion. But Suntup Edition is publishing their own edition of Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. The price will be $175, and also it will be illustrated, fully colored by David Palumbo. And then of course there's the numbered and then the lettered edition. At the time of recording this video, believe me, I am in a dilemma right now whether to get that classic edition or not. I love Boy's Life very much. So yeah, I guess we'll see whether I end up buying that after I record this video or not. But if it's somehow still available and you love Boy's Life by Robert McCammon as much as I did, or maybe even more, I don't expect there will be a lot of stocks left. So yeah, check it out really quickly. Oh, also, and I know that the purpose of SFF Spotlight is to spotlight new things going on in adult science fiction and fantasy. But for this one, I think I have to give it a mention at least, because this is for the new illustrated edition of The Hunger Games. Yes, The Hunger Games, one of the most popular books and series of all time. And it is receiving a new illustrated edition with illustrations by Nico Delort, a truly terrific artist. For those of you who don't know, Nico Delort actually did the cover art of Babel by R.F. Kuang and so many more books. And this edition of The Hunger Games will receive 30 interior artworks by Nico Delort, all of them done in this incredible style of black and white illustrations. And you bet I will most likely get a copy of this one. I cannot resist this. I don't know whether the pre-order links for this one is already up or not, but this will be released in October 1st, 2024. For the next and the final 2 special editions to spot today, this is regarding to the Broken Binding, and the first one is about Malazan, Book of the Fallen, Gardens of the Moon's cover art. So yeah, I think some of you might know that I have become an art director for this, or art consultant for the Broken Binding edition of Malazan, Book of the Fallen. So if you want to see the cover art of Gardens of the Moon early without the typography, then make sure to sign up to Broken Binding newsletter. I think by the time I post this video, they might have, or maybe it is near the time they're going to reveal the cover art of Gardens of the Moon by Felix Ortiz. And yeah, please do let me know what you think about it. I am a bit nervous about this one, but I think Felix Ortiz will be even more nervous because this is Malazan Book of the Fallen. But I hope I did a great job with my debut, I guess, as an art director or art consultant. But on top of that, I want to mention one thing. If you follow me on Twitter, you will know about this, but you know how at the end of each year I post Petrik's Choice Awards, or my favorite books of the year awards. For this year, the winner of the best self-published fantasy books that I read within this year, then the book or the series will receive a broken binding press treatment. Yes, the high-end and premium special edition treatment for indie fantasy books. This is in collaboration with the Broken Binding, but I think some of you might already notice that Broken Binding tend to do a broken binding press treatment of the books, of the indie fantasy books that I tend to love anyway. So this is a huge plus. And for those of you who are curious about this, the number of traditionally published and also self-published fantasy books that I read within a year tend to be almost equal. And for the last special edition to Spotlight today, this is for A Time of Dragons by Philip C. Quantrill. Now, you know that I have read the 9 books Echo Saga series, and A Time of Dragons is the prequel. It's the prequel novel or series to the Echo Saga, taking place about thousands of years before the events of the Echo Saga. If you love Dragon Rider epic fantasy, then try this one. But this is the Broken Binding edition treatment with an art contribution from Katrina Paints. And also this is the debut of Broken Binding Indie Legacy. So what is Broken Binding Indie Legacy? Well, this is their new branch, kind of like Broken Binding Press, but this one is for their special edition that will never run out. This will constantly be up in stock on their website, and you can always buy these special editions anytime you want. And yes, these special editions do comes with acid-free paper and also Smithsoon binding at a very affordable price for their features. And yeah, I think it is an amazing thing, and as I always say, I think Broken Binding is really changing the indie fantasy landscape, and I am happy to support them for that. So that's it for the special edition section, and before we move on to talk about some cover reveals and also one noteworthy release, I want to spotlight Disquiet Gods by Christopher Ruocchio and also 2 discounts first. But let's start with Disquiet Gods. And for those of you who are uninformed about this, it is possible to buy the advanced reading copy, the electronic advanced reading copy of Disquiet Gods by Christopher Ruocchio, the 6th and the penultimate installment in the Sun Eater series. Half of the profit will go to Ben Books, and then half will go to Christopher himself. So yeah, that's awesome. Both the publisher and also the author is actually receiving the equal profit. So if you are a fan of the Sun Eater series, just like me, and you want to read Disquiet Gods 3 months early, it is possible now. I will leave the link to pre-order that. Well, I guess not pre-order, the link to order that immediately in the description down below. I am excited to get around to this one, and not gonna lie, I am also sad that I am really near of catching up to the series. If you have been following my channel, then you will know how much I love the Sun Eater series. It is on its way toward becoming my #1 sci-fi series of all time. It is already up there, really, but at the equal spot with Red Rising Saga. Let's see whether it will top that by the time I finish reading Ashes of Man and also Disquiet Gods. For the massive discounts, this is something beneficial. Well, the first one cannot even be considered as discounts because all of Davis Ashura's books, all of them are free. Yeah, free. If you own a Kindle and you own an Amazon account, then make sure to utilize this opportunity. All 10 books or maybe 13 books by Davis Ashura, a great indie fantasy author, is free. I think only for the next few days. So yeah, make sure to get them. This is the author behind many series like Instrument of Omens and then The Cast and the Cast and many more. And finally, wait, I was a bit mistaken in calling this a discount. This is not a discount, but this is a huge giveaway. An epic military paperback giveaway hosted by many great indie fantasy authors such as Ryan Cahill, Andy Peloquin, and then the list goes on and on and on. And well, this is a giveaway. Make sure to check it out. I think it is very nice of all these indie fantasy authors to host this kind of massive giveaway. And now we move on to the next section of SFF Spotlight. Time to talk about one noteworthy release first. This is for Fides Ex Machina by Kian Ardalan. At the moment, this is a standalone novel. I think this is a cyberpunk or sci-fi novel. And no, this is not related to the 11th Cycle by Kian Ardalan. But yeah, considering how much I love 11th Cycle, I definitely look forward to reading this one. And this book is out now. It is available to order on Amazon as well. And then we move on to the final section of today's SFF Spotlight episode. It is time to talk about some cover reveals, beautiful cover reveals. Let's start with the Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon. This is a rebrand or a new cover art being given to the entire, I think only 4 books are available in the series so far. I have no idea whether this is finished already or not. But just like the first book, the remaining 3 books in the series is getting the same treatment. A new cover art by Ivan Belikov. And definitely, they all definitely look better compared to their previous rendition. And I haven't read anything by Samantha Shannon yet, so I cannot say anything regarding the quality of the books. But if you are a fan, then do know that they are getting a new cover art. And moving on to the next one, this is the cover art to Between Dragons and Their Wrath by David Madsen. I love We Ride the Storm by David Madsen very much, and I still haven't finished that series, the Reborn Empire series. But Between Dragons and Their Wrath is the first book in the new series by David Madsen, and I think this one will combine dragons, fantasy, and also romance in one book. I have no idea whether this is romantasy or not, but I do like the cover art being done by Lisa Marie Pompilio and also designed by Lauren Panepinto. And then we have 3 cover reveals to spotlight. All of them are indie fantasy books. The first one is Smoker on the Porch by Dom Watson. This has been pitched to me by the author as British version of Stranger Things inspired urban fantasy. The cover art is done by Blake. Yeah, that's really the name of the artist, Blake. But yeah, I think Blake did such an amazing job with this cover art. And if you take a look at his portfolio, he has done some truly insane work. So many beautiful artwork, and I cannot believe that, well, we haven't talked enough about Blake. But for the next one, I am confident we have talked about this artist a lot. And this is a new cover art by Felix Ortiz. This is for Mushroom Blues by Adrian Gibson, the first book in the Half-Man Report. Mushroom, there are so many mushroom in this cover art. And also, it gives the vibe of Blade Runner combined with mushroom. And then when I read the premise of the book, apparently this has been pitched as Blade Runner and True Detective meet China Mieville's Fungal World. This book will be released in March, and also surprisingly the design is done by the author himself. I think the author did a great job in doing the design for his own book. There will be murder mystery in a cyberpunk world, and yeah, I think I will give this one a try. And finally, for the last cover reveal and the last topic to spotlight today, this is for Hyperborea Soul, Shattered Soul by E.M. Zolotor. I haven't read this series yet. I haven't started reading this series, but the cover art do look quite distinct in the market. They are illustrated by Rodrigo Rizzo, and well, there will be interior artworks as well. All of them done by the author himself. Some authors, they are just incredibly awesome, really. On top of writing books, they are also doing their own interior artworks now. And then this is the 3rd book in the series, but the cover to the first book and also the 2nd book did receive the same treatment. Same cover artist, same interior illustrators, the author. And yeah, I look forward to reading this series someday. So that's it. That's a wrap on SFF Spotlight episode 49. That's a lot of exciting news, right? Especially on new book news and also new special editions. So many special editions coming out. We are only in the middle of January right now, and I expect there will be so much more coming. So yeah, choose your special editions wisely. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me today. Do let me know what you think about the news that I spotlighted today in my SFF Spotlight episode. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.